I get asked this frequently, like, how do you end up in coffee your whole life? I've been fired more than I've been hired. Katz Coffee was like this last ditch effort, and 3 specific commands from Mom. You shall call it Katz, thou shalt never have a partner, and you are done working bars and restaurants. I'm Avi Katz, and I roast coffee at Katz Coffee. I graduated from University of Houston in 1997 with a degree in, it's a Bachelor of Science of Hospitality Management from the Hilton School. And I was looking for a job that was casual. I didn't want to be in a suit. I didn't want to be a front of the house fine dining manager. And there was a coffee company looking for management. I applied immediately. They interviewed me, and before I knew it, I was in coffee shop operations working for the Diedrich family, running cafes in Houston. It was a great lesson because it got me a ton of production hours behind bar. And so it made me very effective as a barista and understanding barista culture. So towards the end of '97, I met this man, Duke Fur, and I started operations and sales in a small coffee roaster in downtown Houston called Lola Savannah. That was my second opportunity in coffee, and for no specific reason except he liked what he saw out of my cafe operations. So, you know, I'm an only boy, and Jewish moms have a propensity to want to kind of spoil and make sure their children are successful. And so my mom, being an incredible woman, decided that she was going to, start Katz Coffee. She was the owner of Katz Coffee for the first 3 years, and I was her employee. She had no prior coffee education or coffee business. She just had a desire for her fledgling little coffee son to continue to perpetuate his dreams in the coffee world. And then she invested in a baby footprint and what we call a quarter bag roaster, so we could initiate Katz Coffee with 1 employee, and a whole lot of passion and commitment to service and quality. And really, I had probably 24 restaurateurs that were in a position that believed in what we delivered previously and were ready to commit to us as soon as we opened.
But Avi, I've known for a long time. He used to work at Diedrich's Coffee, and used to make me a little espresso and that sort of thing. When he got into his business, then, we started talking. I said, Avi, can you help me? And he says, absolutely. So I think he was the first person to ever put espresso in Nico Nico's. What I really appreciate about Katz is that the education part of it, and the level of service they give us. I can call Avi at midnight and tell him, hey man, I forgot to call you earlier, but the machine's not acting right, or it was a little light, and so the next day they come out and fix it. So for us, we're all about service for our guests and service. So we demand service, right? You don't really have to demand that from Avi. He gets it. He's like that too. He's got the same philosophy on that.
Well, coffee in the restaurant industry has a lot of different functions, right? Sometimes it's a very simple function. It's fuel for your employees, right? You're working, 18-hour days, 6, 7 days a week sometimes. So, it's almost like a necessity, right? So you got to have good coffee for your people, for yourself. It starts meals and it ends meals. So sometimes it bookends the meal. You can't afford not to have that product. Right? If people go into a place and they don't have a good glass of iced tea, they won't come back. Doesn't matter how good the food is, right? If they don't have that good cup of coffee, because that's what they need, and they don't come back. The quality of product absolutely is paramount, right? But all things being equal, what really wins the day is service. And I think that's what Avi Katz and Katz Coffee does better than almost any purveyor I've ever used, and that's the service piece.
So I think Katz Coffee's grown because we have a really good recipe of success and discipline. And more importantly, we just kind of conduct operations here like a family. We are a very medium to large size coffee company that still suffers from a really beautiful family culture. I think people in the coffee world are special and creative, and we had to foster that kind of environment to attract the kind of people that I want to represent the Katz Coffee brand.
I have been with Katz Coffee for 18 years. I met Avi when I was working at a coffee shop and we were looking for a local roaster. That's how I first got, mixed with Katz Coffee. He's a very passionate individual. I have that same passion too for what I do. I think that's what keeps me here is that excitement. I still get excited about coffee every day. I wake up, I think about coffee all the time.
So when I started in the production room, I noticed within the first month, that the company was just growing and moving. New customers every week. It was wild. And it's still that. It's still growing, and people still want us. And so that's a good feeling. And how we got there is it's all through passion and coffee.
I really enjoy Katz Coffee because, and a lot of people say this, but we really are like a tight-knit family. My husband works here, my mom works here, my daughter has worked here before, so it really is like home.
For many years, we didn't have a sales culture. We had a culture of organic growth and referrals. We had restaurateurs that believed in us and, faith-based institutions that were serving our coffee at Sunday to their constituents. And our name and our reputation started to perpetuate through the community. And honestly, the Houston community has grown me more than anybody's grown us. I loved the cultural diversity of Houston. I love the footprint of Houston. I love the hospitality of the Houstonians. And more importantly, I really loved the city pride. And I felt that as a younger man in business, I could have a much greater impact in Houston than I could ever have in Manhattan. Houston is incredible for business. Houston is an incredible city for opportunity. And Houston is an incredible culinary destination. So Katz Coffee and other businesses do very well here due to people's desire to interact with this top level of culinary experience.
I was introduced to Avi Katz through our general contractor in the middle of COVID. He, is obviously new to the city and was kind of looking for a coffee partner for Blue Dorn. Meeting Avi, I loved his energy just right off the bat, and I could just tell this guy is very passionate about what he does, about the product that he creates. Those are the type of people I like to partner with and have be a part of our restaurant, have be a part of our story, because we're very passionate as well about what we do, and seeing that passion matched and that excitement around just really delicious coffee was exactly where I wanted to be.
But we are a seed to cup roaster. We're concerned about the people growing the coffee, and we're concerned about people extracting the coffee. And to do that successfully, you have to touch every category of coffee along the way. Most coffee companies aren't as invested in their farmers' successes. Most coffee companies aren't invested in their employee successes, and most coffee companies aren't and may not have the knowledge or capacity to make their customers successful. And we encapsulate that experience at Katz Coffee because that's the value add that we deliver to the equation that generally blows people's minds.
I think high quality coffee also means to me high quality ingredients that are misunderstood in general by people. That includes all fermented products, wine, beer, chocolate, coffee. There's a misconception, because everybody loves all those, but there's a misconception of high quality. It's important to have someone like Avi that helps you understand what high quality coffee is. Because you can get really bad quality, really bad ingredients, really bad processes, roasting and fermenting and all that. We understood each other very well because we started talking about, first it was chocolate, and then we saw the similarities between chocolate and coffee. We agree that having great quality throughout the whole process is what makes the final product great.
There's not another coffee company in the world that's building its own roasters. Jet Roasters was a passion project that I wanted to initiate because I'm a goofball. I love the technology we use to roast. It is not available for us in the size we need it to perpetuate Katz Coffee as a brand. So, being true Avi Katz, I said, well, let's just build one. And that should demonstrate our ability and capacity for our category. The future of Katz Coffee looks really good. We have grown a lot. We are 21 years old now. We have a beautiful team of people in the building. We have incredible resource we've never had. We are starting to branch out of Texas. We've explored an opportunity in a space that's national that nobody's in. There is currently nobody offering the type of national solution to businesses that we are. And we have a team of people in Houston, Texas that are willing to take that message to the four corners of the continent. And it's super exciting to know that the next 5 or 8 or 12 years are not only going to be about Texas, but they're going to be about other markets in the United States.